Greetings to all of you, wherever you're listening from. I am Commander Bimal Raj, a TEDx speaker, internationally certified trainer and coach, mindset mentor, and a teen and parents coach. In this podcast, The Awkward Talks, I bring you topics that are usually considered taboo or are not discussed freely by the youth, but are some of the most pivotal things that we should be talking about. I just turned 50, and around the same time, I realized that I'm nowhere close to retiring financially. I had created my wealth way before turning 40, but took some bad decisions that wiped out all of my life's earnings, and I had to restart life from scratch when I actually turned 40. Post-COVID, I see and hear of healthy people passing away even before they turned 50. And the way I looked at my life and future changed. And the painful realization that I was nowhere close to where I wanted to be in life, especially at this age, dawned upon me, and it caused me immense heartache. It was at this time that I stumbled upon cases of an Indian filmmaker who turned to alcohol and women for solace when he was unable to make movies, of a 45-year-old surgeon who fell in love with a woman half his age, gave up his flourishing career thinking that this was his last chance to live life to the fullest. And in the case of a 45-plus-year-old corporate executive who was depressed because his boss was younger than him and he never really had lived his life. Well, if you can identify with any of these incidents, it is quite possible that you too are going through what these people experienced, and it's called midlife crisis. I had heard of the term midlife crisis, but it was just academic to me till now. I decided to study more about it, and this podcast is all about the challenges, fears, and other aspects that creep into our life between the ages 40 to 60. So what is midlife crisis? Midlife takes place approximately between the ages of 40 and 60, give or take a few years. One common trait about this stage of life is that you can expect to face some inner turmoil about your identity, life choices, and mortality. This term was coined by psychoanalyst Elliot Jacques in 1960s when he saw that patients in their mid to late 30s seemed to go through a depressive period followed by sudden lifestyle changes as they confronted the idea of their own mortality. It is the most disturbing of all seasons in a man's life. It is a time of transition, of intense questioning when fantasy collides with reality. By the time most people reach middle age, they have been through many changes in life. They may have changed careers multiple times, experienced loss, or raised children and are now facing an empty nest as they have left home for higher studies. They experience feeling lost, indecisive, or restless during this period of life. Sometimes you may feel that your best years are behind you. You suddenly realize that the time you have left is limited. Therefore, the introspection is not about what you want to do in life, but it is about taking stock by asking, what have I achieved? Am I happy? Successful? Is this what I want to do and be? This may make you feel scared about aging before you have had the chance to fully experience life, especially if you have a list of unachieved life goals. Now, midlife crisis can be triggered by a book, a remark, a passing glance in the mirror, a dynamic young colleague in the office, or the death of a parent. Bit by bit, it envelops you. Your friends suddenly begin to look old. You can't stop thinking of death. Sexual incapabilities haunt you. You may think about other women and wonder if this is your last chance to find real love. Last week I was browsing through Facebook. I saw a random comment by a woman. Maybe she was hit on by somebody over 50. Anyways, the comment was, "Men over 50, please leave the younger women alone. You need someone who can recognize the signs of a stroke." I laughed when I read this, but I also realized what it meant to be over 50, and it was not a very nice feeling. Psychiatrists also say that this is the time when marital disharmony is at its peak. Many times the physical decline of a man happens when his wife is at her peak. This is the time when she has gotten over her mother-in-law hang-ups, her children are off to school and on their own, and she is now ready to explore life fully. They have toughened, they have become more aggressive and are confident about what they want in life and are unwilling to give unconditional respect to their husbands. This only adds to the woes of the Indian men, most of whom were mummy coddled all their lives and now expect the same from their wives. Women today are becoming aware of the importance of self-care. She works out, wears fashionable clothes, and is far more confident. The panic for the man increases because she is emotionally moving out just when he needs her the most. Here I have to mention that women also go through their midlife crisis, but it is very different from men. I will cover it in a separate podcast because I really feel that this is one of the most neglected and unspoken issues. Let me now talk about how to recognize if you are going through your midlife crisis. At the outset, you should know that not all men go through midlife crisis. In fact, as per research, even though this transition is troubling for most men, only a small percentage of men go through the full intensity of it. So I'm listing down the indication that you should look out for. Anxiety, abrupt career or lifestyle changes such as quitting job or moving homes. Behavior changes including becoming antisocial, impulsive or irrational or the opposite. Constantly thinking and romanticizing about the past, focusing on youthful memories, former lovers, past adventures, or about how carefree life used to be. Depression or major mood changes. Dishonor to romantic relationships. It could be avoidance, cheating, marital infidelity, etc. Dramatic changes in appearance, behavior, or self-care. Excessive indecisiveness. Feelings of anger, boredom, emptiness, irritability, loss of purpose, nostalgia, resentment, sadness, or being unfulfilled. Financial irrationality and excessive spending. Hypochondria and exaggerated health concerns. Making major future plans such as traveling or investments that may not have been previously possible or responsible due to family, work, or financial constraints. Religious and spiritual transition such as diving deeply into religion, conversion, or starting a new practice. Deep sadness and regret ruminating over past mistakes and failures. Sleep pattern disruption, weight gain or loss, withdrawal from normal routines, etc. Now there are stages in midlife crisis. Even though there is no scientific evidence to prove it, it is considered that there are 3 stages in midlife crisis. The first stage is recognition or trigger. This is the moment of realization that is impossible to ignore, that you have reached middle age and are feeling some sort of discontent and anxiety. Some people recognize it, some people just ignore it. Common triggers include loss of job, retirement, health concerns, a parent's death or illness, children moving out, or even day-to-day overwhelm. Now the second stage is the crisis itself. This stage typically involves some examination of your doubts, relationships, values, and sense of self. If you don't like what you discover, you might feel lost and uncertain and try to reshape your life by exploring new passions, identities, and sexual or romantic connections. This is the point where you start to see many impulsive behaviors or changes to appearance. The final stage is the resolution stage. Eventually, the crisis will end and a resolution will be achieved. The amount of time required to reach this stage can be different for different people. This is where you feel more comfortable with yourself and accept and even welcome what life has in store for you going forward. Now the question is, what can you do if you feel that you're going through midlife crisis? First, keep a sense of purpose. Many times you feel trapped and frustrated because you have been doing the same things for many years. It's now time to try something new. Experiment with a new hobby. Doing so will help keep your brain sharp, expand your social circle, and give your life a new purpose. You can also try volunteering for community betterment and even try mentoring the youth. Prioritize self-care. Midlife will likely bring changes to your body, sleep habits, and relationship with food. Developing and maintaining healthy habits is important. Just make sure that you set realistic health goals. Next, adjust your perception of midlife and aging. If you focus exclusively on the negatives, you will find plenty of reasons to be unhappy in midlife. But remember that every stage of life comes with its share of ups and downs. Make a list of what you're thankful for: your parents' longevity, your children's growth, a stable job, etc. and learn to appreciate all of them. Ask yourself, how have I grown? Take stock of specific concerns by talking with loved ones or keeping a daily journal. Do a self-rediscovery process by pondering open-ended questions like, when do I feel most satisfied or content? Who do I enjoy spending time with? What gives my days meaning and purpose? There could be times when you need professional help. So when should you take professional help? See, not everyone is able to transition through midlife crisis on their own, and that's perfectly normal. You should seek professional help if your emotional distress impairs your ability to sleep or it affects your appetite. If you can't concentrate at work or you had to call in sick due to your distress. If your stress or mood is taking a toll on your relationship, such as increased fighting with a partner or sibling. If you've lost interest in leisure activities and hobbies. If you're thinking of making some major life changes like ending a long-term relationship, switching careers or relocating. Well, to sum it up, please don't get alarmed by all that I shared. Know that during this time, most people do go through some soul searching and taking stock of their lives. However, only a small percentage go through a major crisis like I mentioned. It is always good to know what to expect and what to look out for, and that was the intention of this podcast. After doing all the research, I realized that I do have midlife crisis, but it has not taken a massive toll because I have continuously dabbled in new things. This podcast, for example, it's a new project and I spend a lot of time talking, researching and discussing for it. I've written a book and it is coming out in August. It is true that there are moments when I feel the despair about what my life would have been if I had done or not done certain things. The age-old should have, could have, would have cycle. However, I don't remain there majorly for two reasons. First, like I said earlier, I am doing something new every time and it needs my time and effort. Second and most importantly, I have friends who kick my butt every time I go into poor me mode. So my advice to you is the same. Start something new. Do it just for fun, but do it properly. Find your friends and spend time with them. One of the secrets of longevity is having an active social life. One interesting research said that for having a happy and long life, you need to have at least 3 stable relationships in your life. I have more than 3. How many do you have? If you don't have, go and cultivate at least 3. It will make a huge difference in how you spend your life. If you like this podcast, please do rate it. If you know someone between 40 to 60 years of age, do share this with them. They could be going through this troubled phase silently, and this podcast could make a huge difference to them. This is Commander Bimal Raj, and I will be back with another awkward talk very soon.